right, it is the time all of you are waiting for. It is the Millvale Music Minute. I am here joined by Jonathan Keilback, who is the booking guru, the booking manager here of the Millvale Music Festival. It is the Millvale Music Minute. We were just listening to Ugly Blondes. You can hear them on the River's Edge Radio Network. That's what we were listening to, coming into today's show. And today is the first of the wave of band announcements. Over the next few weeks, we will be announcing several or all of the bands that will be performing at this year's Millvale Music Festival, which will be May 12th. And it's going to start early for some people, 11 a.m. in the morning, and it will run until the end of time, or yes, pretty late. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we've got some band announcements, but before we get to that, we do have some housekeeping issues to attend to. There is a deadline coming up. This is a flashing news alert. The 15th, that's in just a few days, the submission process closes for visual artists. So if you know someone who is a painter or someone who is a sculptor or a potter or anything crazy like that, it is imperative that you contact your friends and let them know if they are interested in performing at this year's festival, that they sign up, and they can do that at millvalemusic.org. Again, that deadline is coming up, so we do still have spots available for visual artists. So unlike the band side of things, where we were flooded with amazing musicians here in Pittsburgh and creating a very difficult job for Jonathan and his committee, the arts side, we still are looking for some people. So if you know anybody who is artistic in the visual sense, please have them go to millvalemusic.org and sign up. A couple other things on the agenda that we do want to make sure you are aware of. March 24th we're going to have espresso and Grist House beer, and that is going to be at Tazadora, which is the coffee shop, newly opened coffee shop here in Millvale, and they will also be a venue at this year's Millvale Music Festival. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and there's going to be some great musicians. We've got the Cheerly Men that will be performing there at Tazadora with 50/50 raffles, gift baskets, again, Grist House beer, and all sorts of good stuff there. So that's super exciting. That's going to be, again, on the 24th, and it's going to be at 5 p.m. So do not miss that. We've got a lot of people joining in. If you have a comment, we have a bunch of comments here already for the big band announcement. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know Crystal says that she loves the Ugly Blondes. I do too. They're awesome. So you can hear them again all the time. I want to also mention a couple other things. Volunteer submissions. We are accepting volunteer submissions this year, and a new thing to the music festival, and this is really a great thing. So we appreciate all of the help we had last year with our vendor for providing alcohol at some of the outdoor stages. This year, we will be handling our own alcohol at the outdoor stages. And what does this mean to you if you're listening and you are in a band that is performing? What that means is, instead of getting 10% of the revenue that was made from beer sales at the outdoor venues and the venues that are being handled by the music festival, specifically as far as catering, we will receive 100% of the revenue. So we will be able to really increase what we pay out to the artists at this year's music festival.
And that was a major goal going into this year, is to make sure we could pay the artists as much as we can.
Yeah, so we'll be able to do that this year. Very excited about that, and that's great. So last year we were able to pay every band and artist in our first year, and any musical artists. And this year we are going to continue that trend, but we are also going to be able to, like we said, drastically increase that. I'm hoping by a really good amount. So really excited about that. But because of that, we do need RAMP certified volunteers. Yes. So if you have your RAMP certification, or you know someone, that would include bartenders and anybody who basically has a state certification to pour alcohol. We do need people like that to help us to make sure that this festival is as lucrative to the musicians who are performing in it as possible. So, and if you want to volunteer in any other way as well, we are accepting volunteer applications at millvalemusic.org as well. If you just look at the top of the page, you'll see visual artist submissions for the visual artists, and then you will see volunteer submission for the volunteers as well. I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors because none of this would be possible without them. Our main headlining sponsor are the 5 craft beers brought to us by Vicini's Brewing. That is Victory, Oscar Blues, Trogs, Bells, and Dogfish Head. So big thanks to them. And then we've got our rock star sponsors of the Millvale Community Development Corporation, the River's Edge Radio Network, Millvale Borough, Sidekick Media Services, Sidekick to Your Business, Millvale Yoga Collective, Grist House Brewing, which will be at the event which I just mentioned, which just a quick reminder that is going to be the 24th. It's a Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. at Tazadora Brewing, who's also going to be, we'll get to that. Grist House, as I said, they're one of the sponsors. We have the Commonwealth Press, Z-Trip. Those are all rock star sponsors. Supporting acts including Punksburg, Jeff Wokuch Auto Body, the Double L Bar, First National Bank, Cousins Lounge, Guitar Center, Here Corp Sidelines, and Roadie Partners, U.S. Food Service, New Sun Rising, Han Funeral Home, Salon 22, Tazadora, which, again, you can come to that event on the 24th, and our social sponsors, which includes Attic Records, George Satiri Dentist, and the Gardens of Millvale. So big thanks to all of those
Massive
people.
Thank you. Massive.
We were able to, so last year we got a lot of really great deals to help us put the first festival together because people knew we were a brand new festival and wanted to help us out. And being that it was our second year, a lot of those deals are not there in the same capacity. So these sponsors really stepped up. And because of that, we were able to keep going and keep rolling. And we didn't have to go to Facebook and ask for donations this year. So, but last year, you guys helped us pull through with those donations. So
we really want to keep the production quality of the festival as expert and professional as possible. And thank you for the sponsors for being able to make this happen. So, I mean, if it weren't for them, wouldn't be able to put in what we have planned, which we're really excited about. We will announce as the festival gets closer.
Exactly. So we are about to that point, and we've got tons of people joining with us right now. It's very exciting. We've got just a few shout-outs. We have Hugh Twyman, who's the booking guy for Deutschtown Music Festival.
Hey,
He's
Hugh.
here in the chat room as well. We've got band Habitat. They're in here. We've got all sorts of Devil Inside Promotions, which they do a great job promoting the local scene. They're in the chat as well. All sorts of great stuff. Let's see. Got some comments, so I'm going to look through some of these comments and see if we can read any of these while you're making some of the band announcements.
All right.
But really excited. We've got that. We're just about to announce the bands. I do want to point out a few disclaimers. Not all of the bands are being announced today. This is the first wave of bands and musician submissions, and we're still working with the singer-songwriter section. So if you're a
and a couple other
singer-songwriter,
stages. And a couple other stages.
Just be patient with us because we are going to get to everyone.
Yeah, just in a grand scheme of things, we're not quite done scheduling all the bands
This
yet.
is the first wave. So
Yeah, it's the first wave.
preliminary information. Also, if regardless whether you are into the music festival or not, you will get an email.
Yes,
with that
yes.
correspondence. So
if
don't
any
worry.
musicians are tuning in, maybe they don't know if they're on the festival or not. If you're on the festival, we definitely already talked with you. So on the musician side of things, there shouldn't be any real surprises, because everyone would know that they're on the festival that we're talking about today. Mm-hmm. But the truth of the matter is, we're still working on it. We're adding a bunch more stages this year, and it is a lot of work. Just, so much work. And we're getting there. I promise you we're getting there.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. So please bear with us. We're going to get through it. We're ahead of schedule from where we were last year. So that's exciting. So I know we've got Tony here says the Clarks. Well, I don't know if the Clarks submitted, but we do have some amazing local bands that are not the Clarks that are going to be performing. I mean, if they want to submit next year, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But we have, I feel, extremely high quality bands that have performed. Over 460 bands performed for this festival, which we'll see over 150 performances for Millvale's 150th anniversary. So let's get a quick drum roll in. All right, who do we have for the first band announced for the 2018 Millvale Music Festival right here on the Millvale Music Minute, broadcasting at the River's Edge Studios inside of Mr. Smalls. Jonathan, take it away.
Let's start with Gap Park. It's
All
one
right.
of our two main stages. And the first band officially announced is Sunhound.
Woo! Sunhound, they are fantastic. So they're going to be on the main stage at Gap Park?
Yes, Gap Park, which is an all-day stage. This is going all day long. And yeah, here's the rest of the bands. So we have Sunhound, Inco Fido, the Moat Rats, Broctopus, Here Tonight, Big Atlantic,
Wow.
Grand Piano, Sykes of the New Violence, the Delaney's, and Gene the Werewolf.
Wow, that's a fantastic lineup.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of dreaming. Just thinking about how I can mix up different styles and whatnot, and still just make it one hell of a party.
So somebody's saying that Millvale is spelled wrong on the screen, but
Is it?
it's not. No, unless no. So, all right, yeah, that sounds fantastic.
All right. So our second main stage, Mr. Small's Theater. So glad to have the theater this year. We have the main hall of the theater, not just like the fun house like we did last year. So here we have an evening lineup.
Yeah, so that's another venue being added here at Mr. Small's.
Yes. So on our stage here, we have Drowning Clowns, Molly Alphabet, Chet Vincent, Tim Vitullo Band, Meeting of Important People, and Jim Donovan and the Sun King Warriors.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's going to be the River's Edge stage, so we have some things lined up from my network's point of view for that stage, so that's going to be exciting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait for the festival to start.
All right, ready for another?
Yeah, let's grab another one.
Let's talk about the Panza Gallery.
Okay.
We're gonna have a late night party.
And I feel like I inspired that last year. So can I give a little
Yes,
background
go
story
ahead,
to this?
go ahead.
Okay. So last year there was a rule that everybody who was volunteering at the music festival at any capacity, they weren't allowed to be drinking while they were on duty because we didn't want a bunch of drunk staffers roaming around, stumbling into people.
Gotta be professional.
Exactly. So I was busy the entire day. I work overnight. I worked the night before the festival overnight. I get off work. I buy coffee for the volunteers. I'm sitting outside, and I see a giant truck drive by. And I think to myself, that has to be the main stage, one of the main stages going down somewhere. So I follow this truck, and sure enough, it's going to Bower Line. There were all sorts of issues. This is stuff where you learn after the first year. We didn't put the no parking signs out early enough on that street because there was some miscommunications between the festival and the police. It was on our end, so we've learned. So there were all of these cars parked there, and we couldn't tow them or we couldn't find them to ask them to move. So I was trying to deal with that situation. It ended up working out, but I never went to bed. So I was awake for probably close to 40 hours at the end of the festival. I didn't eat the entire day because I was running around. I had a piece of Frank's Pizza because they gave me a free piece of pizza, thankfully. And I had a couple, just some real small things like that, mostly half-eaten stuff because I was just running from here to there. So by the end of the night, we get to the main stage we get to the fun house here at Mr. Small's. It's going great because the amazing booking committee job and everything else. It's going wonderful. I start drinking because it's the end of the night. I haven't eaten all day. I haven't had any sleep. I instantly get tipsy. The fun is over, and I'm standing there. I'm like, no, this can't be it. I said, I'm not done. So I said, let's go to Millvale Studios, which was open. And no, we didn't cause the fire that night.
No, it wasn't that night.
We make it down
Actually,
to...
only Flush would have caused the fire had we done fire breathing.
Okay,
show.
so there we go.
But thank goodness we didn't. We was able to keep the venue for at least that day.
So we make it down to Millvale Studios, and I bring out all the beer that I had back in the River's Edge section when we were based out of there. We get down there, we drink all of the beer.
Yeah.
And then Josh Panza says, you know what, let's go back over to the gallery. So we go across the alley, we go into the gallery, and we jam till it was 5 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, it's
I ended up
some
passing out at
ludicrous hour.
Panza's. So that has inspired us to create a fun party in the evening here at Panza Gallery.
Yes.
So that story, I feel like I am partially responsible for this fun after party at Panza Gallery.
All right, and on with the band.
Who do we have?
So Panza Gallery, late night. By the way, the times will be announced at a later time. The exact time slots for the various bands. They will be announced as the festival gets closer. We're just dropping the names of who's going to perform where. All right, so Panza Gallery, we have The Struggle Bus, Blue Clutch, Victory at the Crossroads,
Woo!
Chillent, and one more TBA.
One more to
We'll
be
say
announced,
that.
so
Yeah,
we're still
let's see.
working.
Yeah.
Now, can we talk about Chillent and why they're at the Panza Gallery stage? Because I think that's an interesting story, or is that something that we can't share?
I don't know. I'll leave that up to you.
All right, I'm going to share it. So,
Right.
for a religious reason, they can't. There's a religious holiday the day of the music festival, so they can't perform. but midnight is the next day.
Yes.
So they're going to be at the after party, and they're going to be performing. And so technically, they're not performing on the 12th. They're performing on the 13th.
On the 13th.
And if you work overnight like I do, that actually kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, because I've my entire day has like shifted now, where I view everything in the evening. So. But yeah, that's exciting. So that's going to be an awesome stage. That's going to be so much fun. And that place is so cool because it's got such an interesting vibe to it down in that gallery.
Oh, yeah. Ever since we started having more and more events down there, I've been involved with a lot of the events. And I absolutely love doing stuff down there. Just the vibe is, it's chill and friendly and welcoming, I guess you can say. It's extremely welcoming.
So cool, yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Just a couple comments here. We have Hugh Twyman asks how many bands there will be this year. So we're still working through that, Hugh, but there is definitely going to be over 150 bands. Do we have a rough estimate as to how many?
We are on track for over 150. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I did know that. Yeah, so that's going to be over 150 for 150 years of Millvale's existence. Also this year, I'm going to make a quick announcement while we're talking about bands and still booking for things. We are going to be adding a second day to the festival. It's going to be
Friday. I was wondering when you was going to drop this information.
Yeah, we might as well do that now. So Friday night at the food truck park, which is opening up, we are going to be having a pre-party for the festival. There's going to be more information on that. We're still working on the information with the food truck park, but it's going to be there. It's going to be out on the riverfront. It's going to be awesome. So that's going to be Friday night leading into the festival, so you can make your entire weekend out of the Millvale Music Festival. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's gonna be cool. Okay, we've got Alicia on there saying that you got to get your lawn chairs out on the street if you live here in Millvale. That is true. It's gonna be busy.
Very true. Yes.
As I mentioned in the beginning of the show, Z-Trip is going to be a sponsor for the event, and what they did last year is they provided a shuttle service at parking locations. So we definitely advise you to take advantage of that. But even more so, they are offering discount codes to use a Z-Trip vehicle to transport yourself to and from the music festival, and the code for that we'll be announcing that in a bit too. But they did that last year, and that helped with parking a lot.
I also want to throw out there with the shuttle this year, we're going to have 2 shuttles.
Yes.
So we're going to be able to move a lot more people around a lot quicker.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be the case. Sorry, I'm just trying to read through some of these comments here. It's going to be, So there's a lot of good comments. It's hard to get through all of them because the people are very excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Feel free to interrupt me if you see a comment. Just jump right in there.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Let's do Smokies.
Smokies. All right.
Smokies. All right. We got punk bands at Smokies. We have ENOS, which is Yvette and the Ominous Squad, for those who don't know. Dumplings, Crooked Cobras. I almost said Crooked Cobras again. Crooked Cobras, Plasmid, and the Homicides.
Fantastic. That stage was fun last year.
Oh my goodness.
That's one of those like interesting venues. So Rant always talks about how they'll just put people in different places and they'll just make it work, whatever. Now Smokies isn't quite that crazy, but it is a unique setup where we have to put the bands, but we make it work and everyone can see everything, and it's got like a really cool atmosphere, I think.
Yeah, the shape of that bar is unique. I'll just say that it's really unique.
It's cool though.
Yeah, but it works out great. And I didn't get a chance to pop into Smokies last year, but I saw videos. Yeah, and it was oh my god, it was like anarchy in there in a good way. Good way, I mean that. All right, let's do another one.
All right, what do we have?
Hey, Bowerline Street, outdoor stage at Bowerline Street. Maybe you remember that from last year. Took a slightly different approach this year. So yeah, here's the.
That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun things there as well.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways,
like games and stuff like that you can.
Here's the lineup, and we'll just let the band names do the talking. We have Sweetheart of the Barricades, Dylan Rook and Red Coal, Mickey and the Snake Oil Boys, the Highland Brothers Band, the Bohog Brothers, Ethan Jano and Heart of the Wild, the Red Lines, and the Shiners.
Nice. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we want it to be more of like a...
I don't know. Keep going. I think we're good.
Oh, you're good?
Yeah, I think so.
You didn't break the internet?
I hope not.
You just broke the sound. Okay. Hope it didn't break anybody's ears with that. I heard static through that phone.
Yeah.
It was so loud. But yeah, we wanted to do more of kind of like a tailgate zone.
Yes.
And we felt like those kind of bands, Americana, blues, rocks, a little bit of southern rock in there. That's perfect. Absolutely thrilled with the way that turned out.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. That's such a cool stage, too, because it's outside. You can buy your alcohol at sidelines and then walk into the street, which will be closed off. And this year, like I said, we've learned. So we'll tell the police in enough time so they can get the road properly shut down for us.
Yeah, I guess I should have introduced that as Bowerline Street stage at sidelines. That kind of makes sense, putting that right, because it's going to be set up right outside of sidelines. So yeah, we should call it that from now on. Just saying.
Yeah, definitely. There we go. All right.
Alrighty.
Figured out the problem. It was me, not you.
Oh, okay. All right, so I wanted to follow up the punk stage at Smokies, which with a stage that might be the continuation of the kind of vibe we're going to start at Smokies. And this is what we have at Bar 3.
All right, Bar 3, which is crazy. Last year they had to turn people away because they were too full inside.
Yeah,
which was a lot of fun.
So this year we're going. Maybe we're not going full punk. We're going rock with some pop punk vibes to it. It's still just good old rock and roll the way I see it. But yeah, here we go. God's Green Apples, The Slobber Knockers, The Shutouts, Love Dumpster, Lotus Kid, and one more to be announced.
Nice. See, we keep leaving you hanging. We keep keep you hanging on and wanting more. So you have to keep tuning back. We're going to be doing this every Tuesday until we have all of the bands announced.
Yeah, we had some artists for that last time slot, by the way, but things happen, unfortunately, and
so we'll make it work.
Things had to be changed, and we'll get there. We will have an announcement about that soon.
Wait, Devil Inside Promotions is saying everyone should bring snacks for me. I'll take them. I guess I look like I'm hungry. I am actually hungry. I just kind of woke up. So yeah, bring me food. I'll take that.
Yeah, me too as well. All of us.
Yeah, we'll take food.
Yeah. Okay, let's do Millvale Library. Now, this is really unique. We are working with Sunburst School of Music and School of Rock South Hills to bring their house bands in, but we're also having younger bands that have had students that were at those two schools.
By the way, that venue is super cool at the library because they have this big yard and they have this really nice deck that the bands will be playing on. So it's a really great viewing experience as well and listening experience.
I'm not sure if that back deck was designed with bands in mind, but it turned out to be like the perfect thing.
Yeah, it's great.
So here we go. We have the Sunburst School of Music, as I mentioned. We have Wonderment, who used to be called Colorblind Coding. So if you know that band as that, then they changed their name. So little note for you. The Electric Army. We have School of Rock South Hills, as I mentioned. Chasing the Sun, Snowdonia, and a really exciting one, Keilback.
Fantastic. It was great. The first time I saw them was at Hambones. And we were streaming for Rant, actually, for the Rock All Night tour with the River's Edge. And we did the acoustic brunch. And I was working overnight. I was going to go home and sleep after the brunch. But then I found out that the stage that was outside was canceled and being moved into Hambones because of rain.
Yeah.
And all of the bands were like, oh, man, can you please stay and stream us? And Keilback was one of those bands. It was the first time I heard them.
Oh, nice.
And they're fantastic. So I ended up getting no sleep that day. But it was awesome.
All right, let's do one more. I think I can. Yeah, I can do one more. Yeah, we'll do one more.
Awesome.
Okay, let's talk about Grist House.
All right. Which again, Grist House, you can come and get some of their beer with some great coffee. March 24th at Tazadora with the Cheerly Men. You do not want to miss out on that. 50/50 raffles, gift baskets, all of that stuff. All benefits the Millvale Music Festival.
And how coincidental. Actually, they need to get back to me. But I think they know. But Cheerly Men at Grist House. That makes sense. Doing the fundraiser and whatnot. Yeah.
That works.
There we go. Also, we have Bad Custer, We Were Telepathic, Elk Hound, Lo-Fi Delphi, and Spish.
Awesome.
So,
fantastic.
You can see the smile on my face. I want to be at all these stages.
That place was so crazy. I know. That's the hard part about a festival like this is that there are so many good things going on at once. It literally is impossible to see everything. Yeah. So But Grist House, I know last year I was there. In Grist House, if anybody who's familiar with Grist House, it's always so busy there any day of the week. You can go there on a Wednesday night, and it's standing room only. I've never seen it busier than it was the day of the music festival. And I may have just missed something, but my goodness, it was just a sea of people the entire day. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. So just to reiterate, somebody had asked here that they heard that there are 400 submissions. There were over 400. There were over 460.
467.
So, yeah. That's crazy. So we're excited. So it's going to be a good time. If anybody has any ideas on things that they'd like to see at the music festival, let us know. We are going to be having a lot of street performers this year, which will be doing some really interesting artwork, different types of artwork, such as dancers and things like that will be roaming the streets of Millvale. So that's another thing that we have coming for you. We have the artists that will be on Sedgwick Street. So again, that's really, I think, super vital right now, is if you know an artist, make sure they go to millvalemusic.org and apply, and then also volunteer submissions as well. So so that's it for this week then.
Yeah, that's it.
So those are the first wave of bands being announced for the Millvale Music Festival. We are so excited. Just keep in mind, and this is important to keep in mind, if you did perform last year, we're trying to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity, so don't feel like, we don't like if you're not on it this year. That's not the case. So apply every year. And
we're just trying to spread the love.
And
a lot of new artists
remember,
on it. So.
This is not end game. This is the first wave of submissions. So please stay tuned. It's going to be a great time.
There's plenty more to be announced. And like I said to the musicians who applied and might be watching it right now, we're not done choosing artists. So we'll get there.
So it'll be a good time. Wow, lots of engagement in this. I wish I could have read all the comments, but there were just
Do a couple more.
Do I even have enough time to do a couple more? There's so many. We've so many comments. It's difficult to say. Let's say we have sounds exciting. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so Christina had an interesting comment. She was there. Let me see if I can find this. So we've got somebody who said they'd volunteer, but they would miss too much music. That's not true, because some of the volunteers have the best opportunity to see music. We had 50-50 volunteers last year who
just
were able
float
to
around.
Yeah, they walked around town selling 50-50, and so they were raising money for the festival. And that 50-50 special too. I'll just say that because the 50-50 is really a 50-25-25, because 50 of it goes to the winner, 25 goes to the music festival, and then 25% goes to the North Hills Community Outreach, which do a lot of great services in the North Hills, including Millvale, such as they have a food bank, and they offer like classes and things like that to help people in the area. So it's really an awesome charity, and we're happy to help fund them. So so there are ways to be involved as a volunteer and still listen to awesome music, and it's not all day too. If you do volunteer and help to give back,
you can just choose a chunk of time. That's it.
Exactly.
If you want to do a chunk of time, just do a small chunk of time.
So here we go. Christina says that she was there at the end in the studios with all of us, and she said Jim Zemersky was dancing with a mannequin. I hope I said Jim's name correct.
That's right.
Yeah. So there we go. So that's
all brain fade for me too. I need reminders of what happened because we were so exhausted.
So it's a lot of fun. There's so many interesting stories, and like I have so many stories from last year that I could get into about just things that happened that I had to address and take care of with equipment going down and stuff like that. And last year, so we need some more volunteers. Last year I was just like running nonstop, which was fun, but I happened to just be in the right place at the right time at all of the times. But there was at one point the soundboard. We had this Wi-Fi soundboard.
Oh, this was at Grist House.
Yeah. And I happened to stop by because basically all I did all day was just go from venue to venue and make sure everything was okay. I get to Grist House, and literally as I got there or just before I walked into the establishment, the soundboard completely went. And it was right before a band was about to go on. So I run to Gap Park, and I get this really, really cheap Behringer, which we use right here to broadcast this very show. And I threw it into the basket on my bike, and I'm biking down Grand Avenue with the soundboard coming out of this bike basket, like I don't know, like what is it, the old lady on Wizard of Oz. I'm there like riding through town with a soundboard coming out of the basket,
or
making
like
my way. Yeah, like E.T. There we go. I like that better. So I'm like E.T. Phoning home to Grist House with the soundboard, and we ran that entire big stage on this like really, really cheap board for at least a little bit until we were able to get things figured out. But we didn't end. We ended up ending that stage on time. It all worked out. So, but you could. So right now I've got like a really good hairline, but last year I almost lost it. So if we get more volunteers at millvalemusic.org, you could save Brian's hair. So if that's not an incentive, I don't know what is.
I didn't lose any hair somehow, and I got like all of this. I don't know how I didn't lose like at least like half it. Or at least I'd have a skullet.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to have a skullet. I was running sound over at Millvale Studios, the metal stage that we had last year, which, by the way, will not be a venue this year because it's not going to be ready in time.
It caught on fire.
Yeah, it caught on fire.
Yeah.
But a lot of you know about that already, though. We talked about it a lot. Like
it's coming back, though,
yeah,
eventually.
It's coming back
not this
the
year,
following year. So
hopefully, yeah, as long as everything's all set and ready to go. So, Christina's got pictures of the mannequin thing, too. So hopefully maybe she could share some of those with us
Please.
as well. All right, guys, thank you so much. I think that is it for us. We're so happy to have all of you here. It's so exciting whenever all of you could join us for these Millvale Music Minutes, and we love the love and we love the comments, and please keep them coming. We look forward to seeing you guys coming up here on the 24th. Again, thanks so much to all of our sponsors. I'm not going to list them all for you, but I will just mention the headlining sponsors of Victory, Oscar Blues, Trogs, Bells, and Dogfish Head, and of course the Millvale Community Development Corporation, which we are a standing committee of. So all of your donations, if you do decide to donate to the music festival, it is a tax-deductible donation under the Millvale Community Development Corporation. So that's pretty
We're gonna
sweet as
do
well.
this again next week then, right?
Yeah, so we'll be back next week, and that will be with more submissions. So please come back for that. This has been the Millvale Music Minute. That's Jonathan Keilback. I'm Brian Crawford. The Millvale Music Minute is a production of the Rivers Edge Radio Network, which you can hear 24 hours a day with local music at riversedgepgh.com for the Millvale Community Development Corporation, who is building up Millvale, and just an awesome group. For Jonathan, I'm Brian. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your comments and your interest and your engagement. We're going to leave with Chase the Barons here on the Rivers Edge, and you can go to riversedgepgh.com to hear them and more right now. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next Tuesday.